Question 4. How did you use media technologies in the construction, research, planning and evaluation stages? What are media technologies? Media technology is technology which distributes, stores and produces media content. Throughout my coursework, I have used a large number of media technologies. Firstly, during my research stage, I used Google to access a variety of images and examples of magazine and DVD covers to analyse. Google also enabled me to find different highly detailed sites to research the industries and secondary data for my audience profiles. YouTube played a large role in my research as it allowed me to find examples of existing opening sequences such as Austen and Ellie. It also showed me the typical conventions that I'd need to include in my own. To analyse these more easily, I used YouTube video codes to embed each sequence onto my blog. Furthermore, I was able to research soundtracks of real opening sequences to find out which genre would be more suitable for my show. SurveyMonkey. SurveyMonkey was very important in my research as I needed to get a sense of what people look for in a children's opening sequence and also the type of target audience I'd aim at. I posted a link to the survey using social media platforms, Facebook and Snapchat, to reach a wider audience. Emaze is a site to distribute and store media in presentation form. You'll find that I used this site for my industry research. It was effective as it split up chunks of text about industry to make it more interesting and easy to read. Planning. Prezi, TimeToast and Glogster are all forms of presentation software which I have used to display my work in the planning stages. To bring my ideas to life, I decided to use these tools to get a visual image on what my project would look like and how to execute my production. By using these tools, I was able to convert my ideas for location, equipment and schedule into a solid plan which I was able to use in the actual production. Storyboard That. I used the site Storyboard That to take all my shot ideas for my opening sequence and to organise them into a structured order suitable for the product. Photoshop. Photoshop was a good form of production software when designing my logo. I was able to expand my knowledge from past use in AS by using tools such as stroke and gradient overlay to produce a professional logo that suited the Disney theme. I flaunted the conventions of a typical logo by resizing my own, using the transform tool to make it big and bold. iPhone camera. I used a normal iPhone camera to take pictures of the locations planned and to collect the audition tapes. This piece of technology was easy to use as the content could come off the phone straight away and go directly onto my blog. Polyvore. Polyvore allowed me to create a look for each character by picking out items of clothing from different sites to get a better image of how my characters would look. Numbers. Numbers is a Mac equivalent to Microsoft Excel. I used a numbers spreadsheet to create a checklist of shots for me to refer to during production. Doing this production. The main piece of technology I used during my production stage was a Canon 650D camera, which I used to film and capture all of my content. I chose this camera as it is an 18 megapixel camera, so I knew it would produce high quality, professional looking content. After Effects. To edit the clips for my opening sequence, I used Adobe After Effects. This software was extremely useful as I was able to animate my sequence to produce a similar style to Good Luck Charlie's opening sequence. By using tools such as scale animation and duplication, I was able to make my sequence fast-paced and vibrant, which fits the typical conventions of a sequence. YouTube. I felt that After Effects was very complex as I had never used it before. Therefore, I used YouTube to find tutorials which showed me how to create more complicated effects at a beginner's level. Photoshop. I used Photoshop again in my production stage to create my 2 ancillary products. I colour corrected each image before experimenting with text tools such as Bevel and Emboss to make the products look more realistic. Using the images from my shooting days and text to match the colour scheme, Photoshop allowed me to create perfect synergy between all 3 products. iMovie. As I already had access to iMovie, I decided to use this free piece of software to edit the final bits to my opening sequence. After I created the whole animated sequence from After Effects, I realised some parts were still too fast. Therefore, I used iMovie to slow parts of the sequence down, whilst also using it to add my soundtrack. My original soundtrack's duration was longer than my sequence, so I also used iMovie to cut out and edit parts of the audio. Evaluation. For question 2 and question 3, I gathered all my clips and edited my content on iMovie as it is easy and quick to use. I was able to insert pictures to fit my audio for question 2 and also add my focus group clips. YouTube. To provide easy access to 2 of my answers, I uploaded them to YouTube. YouTube was an excellent provider for storing my media content as I could embed the videos straight onto my blog. Emaze and Poplet. For question 1, I used both softwares to present my answer. As there were a lot of aspects to question 1, I spread my content on both platforms to make it more interesting and to expand my ICT skills. Canon 650D camera. To film my focus groups and myself, I again used the Canon 650D camera. I reused this camera as it was lightweight and easy to transport. Communication. Facebook Messenger. For a large part of communication, I used Facebook Messenger to arrange times to pick up borrowed equipment, for example, the tripod and the camera. I also used this app to organise a suitable time to film Abby and to explain what costume I wanted her to wear. I chose this app as it is quick to use. Snapchat. The majority of communication was done via Snapchat. This was an alternative to Facebook Messenger as the rest of my actors did not have Facebook. Snapchat allowed me to create a group chat with my actors so we could quickly organise a set filming time and reschedule if needed. Gmail. A good source of communication that I used was Google Mail. With this, I emailed the store managers to ask for permission to film. I also used this to email my teacher Leanne to arrange meetings in college and to ask about location availability. What pieces of technology have I improved on since AS? Through the production processes for both AS and A2 coursework, I have definitely improved my skills using Photoshop. I have learned how to improve on vital layouts and backgrounds to make the text pop and look more aesthetically suiting to my target audience. My use of colours for my text has significantly improved as my articles are now more visible on my A2 magazine than my AS. Furthermore, I discovered that adding borders around text using the stroke tool makes the text stand out more and fit the typical conventions of a magazine cover. Overall, as my skills using Photoshop has improved this year, my ancillary products look more realistic. My use of media technologies has overall improved since AS, as I have been more adventurous with the types of software to present my work, for example, from mini podcasts to a range of presentation types.
Created using Powtoon.